From the moment the dog's roar shook the air and sent grown men stumbling backward, everyone knew the Billionaire's challenge wasn't just another publicity stunt. Inside the packed arena, beneath the blinding circle of white spotlights, a massive German shepherd strained against a steel chain, teeth bared, eyes burning with fear and fury so intense that no trained handler dared step another inch toward him. People whispered that he was uncontrollable, dangerous, the kind of animal whose trauma had carved a permanent scar into his soul. And standing on the elevated platform in an immaculate black suit, billionaire Raymond Lockwood lifted his microphone and announced to the world that he would bet $1 million to anyone at all, who could calm the dog. But when the roaring crowd fell silent, no volunteer stepped forward. No one except a small, dirt-smudged girl wearing an oversized denim jacket with frayed sleeves. She had nothing in her hands but hope, nothing in her life but struggle, and nothing in her gaze but a mysterious softness that made the dog's growling pause for half a heartbeat. That brief, trembling moment was enough to change everything. Backhand index pointing right. If you believe in kindness, miracles, and second chances, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps stories like this reach more hearts. The arena had been filled with glamour just minutes earlier, cameras, reporters, glittering cars arranged for display, but all of it faded behind the electric tension brewing between the frightened animal and the small girl who slowly stepped out of the crowd. Her name was Lily, 9 years old, homeless for almost a year, wandering the streets after losing her mother to illness and her father to despair. She was the kind of child who slept inside empty bus terminals, warming her hands over metal vents blowing out weak city heat. She washed her face using convenience store restrooms when no one was watching. The denim jacket she wore was the last gift her mother had ever placed on her shoulders, and Lily clutched it around herself like a shield every night. She came to the arena not because she sought money, fame, or attention, but because she had followed the dog's cries from a block away. Something in the sound, a crying more than a barking, pulled her in like a rope tied around her heart. Raymond Lockwood, the billionaire whose face appeared on magazine covers and business channels, had built his empire through relentless ambition. People admired him, envied him, feared him, but few truly liked him. His dog, Titan, was one of the only things he had ever loved, adopted years ago as a rescue after finding him in the ruins of an illegal breeding operation. But Titan had never recovered from the trauma. He trusted no one. Not even Raymond anymore. The billionaire had brought countless trainers, behaviorists, experts from around the globe, yet none could reach the shattered animal within Titan's massive frame. What began as a desperate attempt to help his dog had soured into frustration, leading him to create this reckless challenge, part spectacle, part despair, part unspoken cry for help. As Lily stepped into the arena, people whispered anxiously. Some laughed nervously, thinking she was just a child seeking attention. Others stared at her worn shoes, at her tangled braids, at the way her hands trembled in front of her face. The security guards moved instinctively to drag her back, but Raymond held up a hand. He was irritated, confused, but curious. The crowd gasped because Titan, the beast who lunged at every adult who came near, suddenly stopped pulling on the chain. His ears tilted forward. His breathing changed. Something in Lily's presence, something quiet and fragile, captured him. Lily took another small step, her heart pounding so loud she felt it echo in her fingertips. Her mind flooded with memories of the stray dogs she used to befriend behind abandoned shops during cold nights, how she had learned that animals often understood sadness better than people did. She wasn't afraid of Titan, because she saw the same loneliness in his eyes that she felt in her own life. The closer she came, the more the crowd tensed. Titan let out a deep rumbling growl that made the air vibrate. But Lily didn't run. She simply sank to her knees a few feet away and lowered her head as if offering him respect. She made herself small, non-threatening, letting him decide what came next. For a long, breathless minute, nothing happened. The crowd felt suspended in time. Raymond's expression flickered between anger and bewilderment. And then, like the slow crack of sunlight through storm clouds, Titan took a step toward the girl. One step, then another, his massive paws thudding softly against the arena floor. His growl faded. His ears loosened. The terror in his eyes dulled. As he inched closer, Lily lifted her hand but didn't reach out, she simply let it hover there, an invitation, not a demand. Titan sniffed the air, hesitant, trembling. When his nose finally brushed her palm, Lily's eyes filled with tears. It was the first time in months that she felt someone, something, choose her. The crowd gasped. Cameras flashed. Trainers shouted warnings. But Titan ignored them all. The fearsome dog sat down right in front of the little girl, lowering his enormous head onto her lap like a weary soldier collapsing after a lifetime of battle. Lily placed her small hand gently behind his ear, and Titan's eyes fluttered shut in a deep, aching relief that everyone in the arena felt in their chest. Raymond's jaw clenched. His eyes shimmered, though he fought to hide it. That image, his dog resting peacefully under the touch of a child who seemed carved from misfortune, pierced him deeper than any loss he had experienced in business or life. He descended the platform slowly, unsure of what to say, unsure of what to feel. He had spent years trying to unlock Titan's trust, yet this little stranger had done it in minutes. Lily looked up at him with wide, cautious eyes. She wasn't used to adults approaching her gently. Raymond knelt down beside them, trying not to get too close too fast. Titan watched him, but there was no growl, no tension, just a quiet readiness, as if Lily's presence softened the world enough for him to breathe again. Raymond managed to whisper a thank you, though the words felt small compared to what he felt. The billionaire staff scrambled to bring him a check, ready to hand over the promised $1 million, but Lily stepped back, shaking her head. She didn't want money. She didn't even believe the challenge had been real. She had only wanted to help Titan because she knew what it felt like to be misunderstood, scared, and alone. The audience fell into a stunned silence as she explained in her soft, wavering voice that she had no home, no family, and no place to stay. She didn't need $1 million, she just wanted the dog to stop hurting. Raymond Lockwood had built skyscrapers, tech companies, and industries that touched every corner of the country, yet in that moment, he felt smaller than this little girl who possessed nothing but tenderness. He realized he had been living with wealth but without warmth, success but without connection. And here was a child who had lost everything, yet still chose compassion. He asked her where she was staying. She told him the truth. Under a bridge when nights were warm. Inside bus stations when nights were cold. That her father had disappeared months ago, sinking into the shadows of addiction after her mother's death, and she had never been able to find him again. Lily explained this as if it were ordinary, as if it were simply life. Her voice didn't carry anger, just quiet acceptance, the kind that breaks the hearts of anyone who hears it. Raymond felt something shift inside him, a responsibility he never expected to feel. He had been a man who changed cities, reshaped industries, moved millions of dollars on a whim. But now he found himself wanting to change the fate of one small child. The check in his hand suddenly seemed ridiculous. How could money honor what she had just done? She had given his dog peace. She had given him perspective. She had given him the reminder that the world still held kindness in unexpected places. He offered her the money directly. She refused again. She didn't trust sudden generosity. Life had taught her that nothing came free. So Raymond did something he had never done publicly. He asked her what she needed. Truly needed. Her answer cut through the arena like a soft, painful whisper. Just a place to sleep without being scared. In that moment, Raymond Lockwood made a decision that surprised even himself. He told the crowd he was ending the event. He announced that the real winner tonight wasn't someone who tamed a dog, but someone who reminded them that empathy was stronger than fear, softer than trauma, louder than money. He offered not just the $1 million, but a home, education, safety, and a future to the girl who healed what no one else could. The cameras tried to capture the moment, but the story unfolding was too raw, too real to be reduced to a headline. Lily collapsed into tears, overwhelmed by the sudden shift from survival to hope. Titan pressed beside her, licking the tears from her cheeks, as if promising he would protect her now. The crowd erupted into applause, not for wealth, but for kindness. For a moment, everyone was united in witnessing a small miracle. Raymond brought Lily and Titan to his mansion that very night, not as a publicity stunt, but because Titan refused to leave her side. The dog who once could not be touched now walked beside her like a guardian. Raymond arranged for her to meet counselors, teachers, doctors, anyone who could help her heal. He didn't force affection on her. He simply made space for her to breathe, grow, and reclaim a childhood stolen too early. Over the weeks that followed, Lily's world transformed. She learned to sleep through the night without fear. She learned what warm meals tasted like. She learned math again, and reading, and laughter. Titan followed her everywhere, even sleeping outside her bedroom door. And Raymond, a